And thanks for staying with us here on PM Express. And PM Express is always brought to you by Syntex Tanks. It is strong, it is tough. Alobo Bitters experience greatness in every moment. And Ghana AIDS Commission. And remember that no matter your water needs, Syntex Tank has it all. Syntex Tanks is first to introduce a double-layer tank. And now you can have as many layers as you want. Syntex Tanks is first to introduce the white inner layer tanks in Ghana. And we now introduce you to the customer specs order. We'd let you order any color and size of preference. Syntex Tank gives you the longest warranty of 7 years, which no other tank gives you in Ghana. So whatever your water consumption, size of project or demand, choose Syntex Tank. We have agents nationwide. Call them on 0244 335 168 or shop online at syntexgh.com. Syntex Tanks, a strong, a tough. My guest in the studio is one man. He is Aseidu Nketia. He's a national chairman of the NDC. Aseidu Nketia, thanks for your time. You're on PM Express again.
The pleasure is mine. Thank you.
It's been a long while since we heard from the general.
Yes.
Where have you been? Is it deliberate to just go submarine on us?
Thank you very much. I've been around, except that I have a different role now from my initial role as a general secretary. So I'm learning to, fit into my new role. As a general secretary, you are the chief spokesperson for the party. As a national chairman, you are not. And, when it comes to administering the office and to handle the day-to-day activities of the party, it's all on the laps of the general secretary. As a national chairman, you give policy directives and other things where, and of course, I have a responsibility to also help groom the younger ones and so on. So when there is a difficult problem, once in a while I come in to solve. So that's why you don't see me playing that very active role as the spokesperson of the party.
Does it feel strange at all, considering that you spent we've in the media limelight, constantly being the face of the party and talking? All of a sudden, now you're a chairman, you have to take almost of a back role. Does that feel? How does it feel?
The good thing is that I have an almost perfect replacement in the new general secretary, Fifi. So. I think that he thinks on his feet, is, able to answer questions the way I've been answering questions, and some way, somehow, it's like we think alike. And so he may be responding to issues even without talking to me, and you see that his line of thinking will be perfectly like the way I've been doing. So I'm enjoying my new role because I'm confident that even in my absence, the work goes on.
You're not afraid you may be forgotten?
No, but I'm still the national chairman, and I come in once a while. I'm sure since you advertise my appearance, the number of people who will be waiting to hear me would be more than if I were speaking every day. And so that puts me in a different category. But before we proceed, Evans, I've been down the whole of yesterday and today because of the sad news that we got from, the passing of two stalwarts of my party. And then another person I would consider to be a mother figure, that is Mrs. Kufuor. I mean, Thursday in October, 3 of them just vanished like that. So I've been down. But for our initial arrangement, I wouldn't have appeared on this show at all. And so let me take this opportunity to wish the families of Honorable E.T. Mensah just passed. Everybody knows about E.T. and the role he has played in the establishment of the party. Even before the establishment of the party, the role he played during the revolution and all that, becoming the first national youth organizer of the party and graduating into parliament, minister, everywhere. It's sad that that just left us. And then also, the same goes for Mr. Sydney, Dr. Sydney Lai, founding member of the party and also the first national treasurer of the party. Both of them from Greater Accra, as if by some conspiracy they decided to leave at the same time. And then our aunt, Mrs. Kufuor. Mrs. Kufuor is from my region. I've affectionately been referring to her as my aunt.
Oh, you were that close?
Oh, yes. And so all of them just departing around the same time. It's been a shock. But God knows best.
You know, the thing about what you just said that I guess also holds a lesson for even political players like you, and there's always this perception out there that you guys are enemies because you're NDC and MPP. But you're saying that the wife of John Kufuor,
yes,
who your party and your leadership was very critical of, you call an auntie.
Yes.
And that should tell people that not all that you see, you hear, that you guys are friends also, that you also relate at that level. And I think that's a very important message to send across.
Oh, we do. It's not about Auntie Teresa alone. I mean, Honorable J.H. Mensah was even closer to me than Auntie Kufuor. And I think that many MPP people can attest to that. In our region, we find a way of relating very well to each other. So if you are a senior person in the political realms in the region, you are respected across the spectrum. And so some time ago, we held Monufie as the leader of the region, sort of. Then it came to the turn of Osua Champong. And then J.H. Mensah. J.H. Mensah were fighting on the floor like mad. But immediately after the meeting, he would say, my nephew, let's get to the office. Yeah. And we go and drink wine. You know, whatever we discuss there remains indoors. And so, since his retirement, from his retirement to the time of his demise, I was one of the closest people to him, and even the MPP people attested to it. I was always cautioning them that if you don't get to close to my uncle and take care of his needs in these last days, the day he will pass, I'll block you MPP people from attending the funeral. And we're like that. So, that is that. There's humanity before politics.
That's a very important quote. There's humanity before politics. And I'll take that from this conversation with you. And as you've heard, may their souls rest in perfect peace, as I say. And we acknowledge that. And our condolences to the family of the bereaved as well. Let's get to business then. Tonight is the eve of a major demonstration. It's been a while since the party pulled all its resources. So I've seen a statement from the youth wing asking the country to show up and demonstrate. Are you going to be there tomorrow yourself?
Sure, I'll be there.
But why are you doing this? The Bank of Ghana governor is just the governor of the central bank. They are actual managers of the economy. The finance minister, the president. Why target the central bank governor and his deputies?
The issue that we are talking about has to do with the mismanagement of the central bank. That's all. It is a central bank governor's decision to print money or not to print money. And if you run down a bank, you don't go blaming people outside. So we are saying that the governor has mismanaged the nation's central bank. We don't see any reason why he deserves to remain there. If in the private sector, if you can't perform, you leave. And so if we take state business like you can mess around and nobody holds you accountable, no wonder that we are not growing. We seem to be marking time. We one step forward, two steps backwards, and so on. And I think that this demonstration is more for the youth, because it is their future that is being mortgaged. You know, all of us, we are getting to the 70s and so on. Very soon we will all be gone. But the youth who are coming up now, if you mess up, you accumulate debt, you mess up, the assets of the nation and so on, and you leave. You are handing over a messed future for the youth. So that is why we are calling on the youth to rise, to defend and protect their future. You know. So it is more about the future.
If you look at the specifics, though, this really was triggered by the publication of the audited accounts of the Bank of Ghana that revealed that huge 60 billion black hole on their books. The Bank of Ghana has explained that it is fundamentally down to the domestic debt exchange, and they had to take the bulk of the hit to save the financial sector. You don't accept that explanation at all?
Has the financial sector been saved?
Well, they actually have said that it could have been worse. It would have gone the way of Sri Lanka, for example, where the entire country economy would have completely collapsed.
So, from the time they took over and created the impression that the banking sector was collapsing, so instead of deploying 9 billion to save the banking sector, they thought that they must perform some magic to save the banking sector. And so they had to spend 22 billion to save the banking sector. So if after spending the 22 billion, the banking sector is still not safe, and you go to, print much more money.
But they deny that.
Remember, when the money was being printed, they were asked in Parliament, and they denied it.
But they still deny that they printed money.
So why are we where we are? They didn't print money. Why are we where we are now? So you see, the last time we had an interview, I told you that our problems boil down to lack of credibility of our leaders.
In this case, you're referring to the Bank of Ghana governor?
No, I'm saying
generally.
Our leaders in the country. Because we are creating the impression where when a leader says something is black, you cannot trust that the thing is black. When any of the leaders greet you good morning, you have to look at the position of the sun before you respond, because you are not sure whether it is actually morning or evening. And if you run any democracy like that, you'll be where we are. And that is where we are. And so we need to deal with the confidence crisis. Anything, when you catch somebody with his, hands in the pie, and you say you are eating the pie, you say, no, I've never touched the pie. So who do we believe now? They printed the money, and they are still denying that they didn't have been.
And that raises a question. This, ironically, is led by the minority in Parliament. Mm-hmm. They have the power through Parliament, especially now the Parliament is very evenly poised, to use the parliamentary processes to investigate this and actually get accountability. Why aren't they using protest that will not really yield, me and being realistic, that there's no way the Bank of Ghana governor, after tomorrow's protest, is going to resign because Aseidu Nketia and the minority have the streets to protest.
Well, let him remain there. But we would have made our statement.
But wouldn't you have achieved far more if you use parliamentary authority to probe?
When they use the parliamentary authority to probe the finance minister and the health minister, what came out of it? They are still at post. It boils down to intransigence of the president. You see, if you are in a democracy and you get leaders who think that they are there not because of the pleasure of the governed, but they are there because they have an entitlement to be there, and then they can do what they want, then that is completely not a democracy you are running. That is why I always say that when there is a coup d'etat or some disruption, and some leaders sit somewhere to say that let us go to restore democracy, you must be satisfied that what you are going to restore is democracy in the first place. If there is no democracy and there is disruption, and you say let's go and restore democracy, what are you going to restore?
How do you characterize what we have in Ghana right now?
Come on.
How do you characterize what we have in Ghana right now? Democracy?
It's a very defective democracy.
What's defective about it?
Because in a democracy, citizens are not spectators.
You're quoting the president.
Yes, citizens are not spectators. They are active participants. Now citizens are being told that say what you want, we will do what we like. Are they not spectators? Number two, there's supposed to be a rule of law. Rule of law means the law is supreme and everybody is subservient to the law. But what we are seeing is rule by law. It's a different thing. Rule of law means we are all, the law is supreme and we are all subservient to law. Rule by law means that you are using the law as a tool to achieve your wishes. So you are not under the law, but you are using the law to achieve your wishes. So it is characterized by a dictator who looks at the law and says that if I do it this way, this way, this way, I'll get the appearance of acting with the law. But in actual fact, my wishes prevail. So that is rule by law. That is what we are having now. We are not having rule of law. If you have a democracy, you must have a democracy where majority of the citizens have confidence in the judicial system and the other state institutions. Now, if you have a democracy where survey upon survey turns out a report that 80%, 70% thereabouts have no confidence in your judicial system, you are not running a democracy. Democracy hinges on self-determination. Self-determination meaning that you choose your leaders.
Well, we have that now.
When they are wrong, you fire them. And that process is facilitated by an independent and unbiased umpire. So if you have a system where you have, the system of ensuring that citizens have the right to change their leaders, that system is blocked. Or there are attempts to block that system. You are not having a democracy.
I mean, if what you say is the case, do you then agree, or would you say that Ghana's current democratic environment has laid a foundation for what we've seen in the sub-region where we've had upheavals and coup d'etat?
We have gone beyond that. The only thing that is saving us is the tolerance of Ghanaians.
You mean that Ghana is ripe for a coup d'etat?
I'm saying that it's more than ripe for a coup d'etat, but the only thing, if we go by our own history, we see that the things that have led to coup d'etat in this country were even less than what is happening now. But the only thing that is saving us is the tolerance and our collective history. That there may be situations that you don't like, and you may be tempted to think that nowhere can be worse than where we are now. So let us disrupt. You disrupt. You have some relief, but the relief will be short-lived, and the relief can lead you into another problem, where the new leaders will also be equally intransigent, So it means that you have not solved the problem. And that knowledge by Ghanaians is what we are hanging on now.
And Mr.
So the way out to save the democracy is to use the tools available.
Like protests, is what you suggest.
Protest is one of them. Criticizing state institutions and making sure they do the right things. It's also one of them. So that is a way of helping us to save the democracy. And for people to get up and speak out.
Although the protests aren't yielding any real hard results.
No, in democracy, changes don't occur abruptly. They yield results in the long run. But that is the democratic means. The alternative is disruption. And so these protests, they act like a diffusing mechanism that will help people to diffuse their anger, rather than leaving the pent-up feelings to blow up and destroy the democracy.
Let me ask realistically.
So any government that thinks that by suppressing protests, you are protecting our democracy, is the other way around.
But this government has actually encouraged the protests. Have you seen any suppression?
No, they are not. Yes, there are suppression of protests. Why are we where we are now? When was this protest planned? Look at what happened at a Jolobi or whatever.
Yes, the Fix the Country protest. But in your case,
journalists were all rounded up and put in buses.
But in your case, the police have used the courts, which is also a democratic instrument.
Look at how the courts approach their work. That's why I'm saying that when you're talking about democracy, first of all, if the people have confidence in the judicial system, you can have a dictator, but the ordinary citizen thinks that once I muster courage to seek vindication of my rights in court, I'll get a proper hearing.
You think that's not there now?
And I'm not saying it. Go and look at the survey reports that have been churned out over the years. The confidence in the judicial system keeps deteriorating according to the surveys. That is not what Aseidu Nketia is saying. It is about the perception that exists in the system that needs to be dealt with.
Let me ask a direct question. Tomorrow's protest, do you realistically believe your protest will get the central bank governor to quit?
I'm saying that he can remain there, but let the protest happen.
Okay. The police...
Let him receive our petition that this is what this group of Ghanaians are saying.
The police tonight did a press conference and said that the central bank area is a security zone. So they're not going to allow you there. Your minority leader has said that what he will going to try and negotiate tomorrow is that the leadership will be allowed to go and present a petition to him there. But police said that's a security zone.
So within a security zone, human beings don't operate there?
not a protest.
No, we are saying that one leader, two leaders, three leaders presenting a petition to the governor. What type of security threat does it pose?
But that was not agreed with the police.
And I'm saying that the police don't have to agree to that. They are doing the wrong thing. They don't have to agree to that. It amounts to, jumping on the rights of Ghanaians. Why? The Bank of Ghana, don't they have a banking hall there? Don't people go there to transact this thing? Courier services, don't they have courier services? Couriers who go to deliver documents and other things. If one person, two persons, or three persons are going to deliver a letter, how do you come out to say that it's a security zone? In any case, what is the limit of the security zone? Does it cover Makola and all those areas? Are there no shops adjacent to the central bank? So those who go there to transact businesses at those shops, do they pose security threat? And in any case, when you are talking about a bank, monies in the bank are not heaped in the banking hall. There's a vault where these monies are kept.
But everywhere.
And so if anybody, I heard some military person speaking.
Yeah.
I didn't understand him.
No, but everywhere in the world, the central bank's vicinity is always considered as a security zone.
Yes, it's a security zone, but people operate there.
Yes, true, but not protesters.
No, but we have said that, look, tell us where the security zone ends. The protesters will end there. But a delegation that is going to present a petition to the governor.
Did the police reject that suggestion to ask?
That is what they are claiming. I heard some military person speaking and saying that no, it's no, nobody can do that. Who says that we are in a military regime? Why should it take the military people to be dictating to us here? So why did we get into a constitutional regime in the first place?
Have you negotiated this with the Bank of Ghana, for example, that you'll be presenting a petition to the governor and you want the governor to come down and receive it?
The governor is a public officer. It is the responsibility of the state to alert him to come and receive the petition.
So,
see, Evans, when we were in the university and we're students and we're fighting Champon military regimes and so on, students, there was a regular protocol. Students are going on demonstration. Soldiers should go from Burma camp, go and beat them up and all that. And there are cases where some of the students are killed and all that. Then, when we go to the revolutionary era, it came to a point where the lives of Pastor Kwame, then not a professor, but other big brains, they sat down and said that, so this thing we are always fighting with students and so on. What happens if students want to demonstrate and you allow them, they demonstrate from morning to evening and they close and go back to campus? What happens? Nobody gets hurt.
But that makes the government unpopular.
Are you talking about you are telling me that protests don't have any effect? So are they stopping the protests because they think that will make the government unpopular? If that is the case, then the government knows they have done something wrong. So why won't you listen to what the people are saying? So if you are scared about your unpopularity because somebody will comment on the bad thing you have done, wouldn't you be safer if you stop doing that bad thing?
So I get it then tomorrow.
So the very reason why I think protests work, and the very reason why in a democracy protest is a very important tool to put government on their feet, is that when the government realizes they are doing the wrong thing and there is a protest to alert them to abandon that wrong thing, if they don't stop that, it will make them unpopular. So that is a way of calling the government to order.
Is that your ultimate goal tomorrow?
No, I'm saying that, no, we are saying something is wrong. Correct it. If you correct it, when these reports came, and we're all calling, civil society, everybody was calling that, look, we cannot keep the same people there who mess us up and hoping that they are the people who turn the economy around. So get rid of them, put other set of Ghanaians there and let them implement new changes. You get, you restore confidence in the system. You seek accountability. The person who has done something wrong has suffered some consequence. So if you put the replacement there, you know that if I don't also perform, I will go. So they'll perform. So if you I'm happy that you are now turning around to accept that after all protests.
Well, I'm just asking a question.
No. You said that protests will make government unpopular. That is the point.
Because of that.
That is the point. But because if the government does the right thing, there will not be protests.
Yeah.
But if they don't do the right thing and the attention of the population is drawn to them by the protest, which will make them unpopular, next time they won't do the wrong thing.
To some other very important subject. Tonight, the limited voters registration exercise ended. When, I'm just curious, this is just out of curiosity, when is the NDC returning to IPAC?
We are saying that there is no IPAC.
Oh, but your other political parties have been attending IPAC.
What is happening? The political parties that have been attending IPAC, are they not the ones who are joining us now in court against what Electoral Commission has done?
They do that, but they still go to IPAC when IPAC is...
No, I'm saying that they went to IPAC, learn about what to do with this voters registration, and everything they decided upon. Electoral Commission came out to announce the opposite of whatever they have decided. And so that is why they are in court with us. So between those who went there to waste their time and those of us who didn't go, we use our time to do something else. Who has benefited and who has lost something?
So you're not going to go to IPAC?
No, I'm saying that you can't, everything you do, there must be an objective, there must be a motive. If the motive behind IPAC is for us to go and seek consensus, and you have come to the conclusion that that consensus cannot be sought at the IPAC, you are wasting your time going to sit there.
Okay, so, I mean, just for clarity, the NDC will not be participating in the Inter-Party Advisory Committee meetings?
No, we are saying that it is a way to draw the attention of the Electoral Commission to revert the IPAC to its original intentions. The moment it is done from this program, if it is announced that now IPAC will be a consensus building forum, tomorrow morning we will be there. You understand? So we are not saying that we hate IPAC or we hate Jim Mensah or we hate any other person. We are saying that if you are calling us to school, it means we are going to study. If you go to school and then you don't study anything, you go there and they say we are coming to do something else. Would you continue going there and your parents be paying the school fees? No. That's the reason why IPAC was established. So let us go back and use the IPAC to be building the consensus. But if IPAC is not going to be used to build consensus, then that meeting is not IPAC.
What's your verdict on the limited voter registration exercise that ended today?
Well, it has just ended. We stated in the past that this cannot pass as a good registration exercise.
But they've exceeded their target.
No. Who set the target?
EC.
Why should EC be the one setting the target? Based on what?
But they are the sole authority mandated to do so. Who else must set the target?
You are. The Constitution says that register every Ghanaian 18 years and above so they can participate in all elections. You are not the one who determines the number of Ghanaians who are 18 years and above, are you?
No, no.
Electoral Commission, are they the ones who do census in this country? There's a body that conducts population census. And the figures they have tells you that those who are 18 years and above, this is their number. And you go there setting targets unrelated to the population census figures. So what is the basis of setting your targets? And you keep revising the target. They started by setting a target of 1.5 million. Somewhere in the middle of the process, they said they have revised the target to 750,000 and so on. So it's like, some guesswork. Something that ought to be scientifically determined. They are using guesswork in running the place. Well, you see, we have a population figure in this country. We have a constitutionally authorized body that is responsible for counting the number of Ghanaians in this country. The same way that you are a constitutionally authorized body to capture a certain segment of the population that has been determined by another body and give them the registration to participate in elections. You are now assuming the responsibility of determining the number of Ghanaians who are 18 years and above, even though the figures from the authorized body are ignored. What do you think you are doing? Well, there is a population. You can do your calculations here, even without going to statistical service. And to tell you what, when IPAC was really IPAC, before we undertook any registration exercise, the Electoral Commission first writes to the statistical service to give you the data on the registrable population. Then this one is brought to IPAC, and we all are aware that these figures are not being cooked by Electoral Commission. These are the statistically determined.
Well, the EC would definitely set in those numbers. Would have used.
I'm saying that they are not using the numbers. Look, every year.
But yet we are not cooperating with the EC, so you will not.
No. Why? Statistical service. So can't you go there as Evans Mensah and write to them that I want to know the number of Ghanaians who turn 18.
I can't. If the EC had done so, the NDC would not know.
They haven't done it because we have done it. We have gone there. It's an open source. You can go and take the data. We know it. And you know the population of Ghana. You know the population growth rate, which is around 3% and so on. Even without going to pick the figures yourself, you can do your rough calculations. And by Electoral Commission itself, the last time they did the registration exercise, they are expected to do registration every year. The last time they did the limited registration exercise, I think 2020 or 2019, thereabout. They captured 1.2 million people. That is for only that year.
Yeah.
Now, from that time to now, 2021, haven't done any limited registration. 2022, they haven't done any limited registration. 2023 is about to end now. So, if you take that population, growth, that every year at least around 1 million people enter the 18-year bracket. We are talking about 2.5 years or 3 years. So it should be around 2.53 million.
There will be continuous registration next year. Is what
you understand? 2.5 or 3 million.
But they made provisions.
So if you are going to do registration today, and you are going to capture the backlog plus the ones who have entered this year, and in all your right senses, you project that you are registering 750,000.
So the thing has ended now. He says you're not extending. What do you plan to do about it?
We are not doing anything about it. We will go with them, but we are saying that it is when things happen and those who know don't talk about it, then they are guilty of that wrongdoing.
Who are you referring to?
Every wrong move they make, we'll point it out. You know, but we are not boycotting elections. We are going alongside. But we let them know that this is what you are doing is wrong. This is what you are doing is wrong. There will be a day of accountability.
Next year?
There will be a day of accountability some way, somehow.
Okay.
So it will happen one day because the worst dictators, you can have a dictatorship 30 years, 40 yees, by all means there will be an end one day.
Do you still have a good relationship with Jean?
So I've always had a good relations with her. It's not about Aseidu Nketia and Jean Mensa.
Okay. Because I'm wondering, that personal relationship, can't you leverage that to get the answers?
Oh, that failed long time ago. It's like...
You tried?
Oh, my friend, I don't want to talk about those ones yet, but I'm saying that it is beyond maybe Jim Mensa as a person, or it's a systemic thing. It's a planned systemic thing. Because
planned systemic?
Yes.
Those are strong words. Who's planning this?
Oh, don't you know that we are in a state capture?
Of the electoral
commission? The state has been captured. No. By Nana Akufo-Addo and his government. So all state institutions have been captured and are being used to service the interests of a certain group of people.
Which group?
So that is why you have all state institutions that have been compromised. If you have a democracy where all the state institutions have been configured,
is it all of them?
Almost all. I mean, I wouldn't say all, maybe almost all of them have been configured away from serving the interests of the nation to serving the interests of a selected group of persons. That is what you call state capture.
And the EC is a victim of this?
Sure. Why? Have you heard in this country where a communication officer of a political party being appointed as a commissioner to come and umpire an election involving his party and other political parties? It has happened now.
Well, you fought this
last week. Yes,
it didn't go anywhere.
But that is the point. So we will always be raising.
It poses a threat to next year's elections.
I'm saying that, look, I'm happy that this last time,
CDD,
this last Occupy Julobi, some journalists were also rounded up. Well, you see, when they come for the trade unionists, you say you are not a trade unionist, you don't care. They come for the Jews, you say you are not a Jew, you don't care. They come for that, you say I'm not this, I don't care. The day they will come for you, there will be nobody to care.
Alan Chamanting, so, let's end on Alan Chamanting.
Nobody will care. You see, when this Niger president, he shut social media down and he was grabbed.
He used social media.
He was now saying that people should make noise. You have claimed the means of making noise.
Let me ask you about Alan. Alan resigned last week. Mm-hmm. What's your reaction to that? From a chairman's point of view, who's going to run and who's prosecuted?
I'm not in MPP.
But you stand to benefit your party.
I'm saying that I'm not in MPP. This is an internal thing that is happening within the MPP.
But you stand to benefit your party next year.
Why? No. Ghana stands to benefit.
Really? How?
Because you see, some of these actions help to diffuse tensions that are leading to disruption of the democracy.
How? Tension within the NPP or tension in the country?
I'm saying that, look, when there's something going wrong, you see, in a democracy, you cannot completely block wrong people from assuming leadership or presidency. So once a while, even though political parties will play guardrails or something to prevent wrong people from sneaking through, once a while you can get a wrong person coming through.
I'm wondering how Alan Chairman.
And then when that wrong person comes through and is messing up, then patriots, both within the person's party and outside the person's party, who are interested in protecting the democracy, they come together.
So Alan Chairman is a patriot.
And they say that, look, there is nothing worse like this. So taking my party interest and the interest of the state, I'll go by the interest of the state. So this is wrong. Let us come together, get rid of this dictator. When the dictator is out, we can now set our democracy, save our democracy. You see? So it has happened several times. Trump was removed because even some Republicans felt that this is an aberration. So let us come together, even though it will cost us a presidency. It is better to save America, so let's get rid of it.
I want to take you to 2000.
So Alan Chemantin's resignation, my view about this is that even people within MPP know that the government that is being run now, it is not characteristics of even MPP. They mentioned that this is not the party we founded. And we are saying that this is not democracy. So all democracy-loving people must come together and take actions to kick this system out. Then we can reset.
Let me ask you that on the back of that.
So, Alan, I am calling on NDC people not to attack Alan. You know why?
Tell me.
Because if you are a political party and your objective is to win power and implement your ideas. And so if there is somebody in power and another person you are in opposition, another person is in opposition, whether you meet them, the other person in opposition or not, you are all working towards the same objective of removing the one in power, because it is after the person in power is removed that whether Alan will be there or NDC will be there or somebody else will be there, that person must go. And so anybody who is in opposition and fighting along the same lines as you are doing, it will be wrong for you to be attacking that person. You are wasting your bullets. You understand?
But already someone.
Well, I get so excited every time I get to be on your TV screens.
No longer with them. He has seen that something is wrong. And it's now confirming what we have seen is wrong. So it's like we are all working towards
and it's interesting that I wanted to ask you, so is the NDC, for example, if it comes to it, ready to work with him to achieve the same goal you just mentioned? Alan?
Alan is calling on NDC supporters to vote for, MPP supporters, to vote for their parliamentary candidate. So how do we cooperate with him? He is working because our objectives, coincide at some point. So we don't, the same way, you see, when I became General Secretary first, NDC was split. And then you have DFP. And they were spending their time attacking us, and our communicators were fighting back when President Kufuor and his government were there on holiday. I did a press conference, and said that, look, this is a wasted effort because DFP is not in power. We want to go be in power. So let them fight to be in power. If they are really interested in forming a political party that will assume the reins of government, they should know that we are not their target. Because even if they destroy NDC, it cannot put DFP in power. So they should be attacking the one in power. We will also be attacking, if they are attacking from the front and we are attacking from behind, we are all trying to remove
the same
that
objective.
government. You understand? Whether we are opponents or whatever, that coincidence of this thing puts us together. So we are comrades in arms. So we shouldn't waste our time attacking each other. So when they stopped attacking us, and we stopped attacking them. We all fought and removed President Kufuor's government at that time. So today, as many people as are leaving MPP, whether they are complicit in what has happened so far or not, at least they have seen the light and they say, we are now coming out to fight our own system. They shouldn't be the target of our attack.
Aseidu Nketia.
Yes, sir.
Tomorrow we'll be there to cover the protest.
Yes.
And we'll see you on the ground.
And sure. But because this is a protest that is led by
the minority.
The minority NDC in parliament. And so that is why we have to show that solidarity. And we are calling on not even NDC people alone, the youth of this country whose future is being mortgaged. We are going in solidarity of the youth.
Well, we're going to be covering that for you. So stay with us tomorrow from the morning all the way till the end. Enjoy the rest of the evening.